Hi guys, this is Ravenclaw. What if? Welcome back to another What If story. Sorry, sorry for the late upload. I was just adding some stuff to the script last minute. So, anyways, let's get right into this What If. After a very interesting night with the two girls he met at the bar, he was true to his word. He satisfies both the girls throughout the whole night. He's laying in bed, Toga to his right, with her arms wrapped around his waist, and Dobby, she's to his left, as her arm wrapped around Izuku's arm. Placed his arm between her exposed breasts. The first one to wake up was Dobby. She got up from bed and headed towards the shower while Toga was snuggling with Izuku while she's still passed out. Despite Toga being a crazy bitch, that and have a unhealthy obsession with blood, she could be quite affectionate towards people she likes, and she took a liking to Izuku the moment she saw him. When Izuku finally woke up, when he tried to get out of sorry, when he tried to get up, Toga tightened her grip on him and not letting him get up. Dobby walked into the room and saw what situation Izuku got himself into. What he got himself into. Yeah, basically. I see you finally got up, lover. It seems Toga took a extremely liking to you, and I can't deny she's not the only one. Here, take this. And she hands a piece of paper towards Izuku. What's this? Giving Dobby a curious expression on his face. That's that's the location where these newbie vampire hunters are holding up. They made the abandoned subway tunnels their base of operation. They might be amateurs, but they got plenty of numbers. If you go there to challenge them, be careful. They might be green, but they're nowhere near harmless. According to my sources, they are well armed. They've acquired pretty heavy duty equipment. I do appreciate the concern. It would be a shame if you died. You did quite satisfy me quite a bit last night. Judging by my friend's face, this seems like she feels the same. After all, it I would like to repeat what we did last night several times. May I ask? I'll see you around, Izuku. Don't be a stranger. As she bends down onto the bed and kisses Izuku on the cheek, as she walks out the door to take care of some business she has to take care of, she'll get his number from Toga later. She knows that that's the first thing Toga's going to ask before he leaves. Finally, she left. I take it you were awake the whole time? Maybe. Giving Izuku a mischievous grin as she sits on top of him. Let's have some more fun before you go. As she leans over to kiss Izuku. After a few hours of fun, she gets off Izuku and dragged him over to the shower as they continue what they just did in the bed. After the intimate time together in the shower, they both got dressed. As she picks up Izuku's phone and dials her own number into it. What are you doing with my phone, Toga? I wanted your number. Here you go. As she tosses his phone over to Izuku, "It's a shame I can't spend more time with you. I'll call you later." As she grabs onto Izuku by the collar of his shirt and gave him a passionate kiss, as she winks at Izuku with a big grin on her face as she leaves the room. After composing himself after what Toga just did, he knew he only slept with the two of them to get the information. Despite that, he's not going to deny that he didn't have fun. It's not every day two girls throw themselves at him. After all, he's been pretty much sheltered his whole life at the manor, at the Midoriya Manor, only occasionally have, oh, sorry, only occasionally leaving his room. He knew he needed to put the, he knew he needed to put the thoughts of the two girls on the back burner for now. He needs to get his head straight. He still has to deal with the rogue vampire hunters that's been operating in the vampire court district. He decided he needed to take a trip back to the manor where he's been staying at the vampire court district to gather a few things, then wait for nightfall before he could attack them. So he could use the cover of night if things don't go very well to escape. Izuku, Izuku's not stupid. He still doesn't know how many they are or what their numbers are. He needs to know that if he's going to be walking into the thick of things. And he still needs to do some research on the abandoned subway tunnel to figure out what's the best way to infiltrate their little base of operation. And hopefully this is their main base of operation. If not, his job is going to get a whole lot harder. Judging by what Dobby said, they have quite a bit of numbers, so it's possible that the abandoned subway tunnel may not be their main base of operation. And if that's the case, it's possible they could be getting outside help. After all, he still doesn't know how big this operation is. There's a lot of unknowns. There's a lot of unknown factors in play. The 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 mere fact that they were able to get into the vampire district and bypass all their security measures, it's quite troubling to him. They may be amateur vampire hunters, but clearly they have some sort of backing. After hacking into the mainframe of City Hall and getting the blueprints of the abandoned subway tunnel, as he started to come up with a strategy and a exit strategy just in case things go to hell, not only Izuku is very powerful, he's a brilliant strategist. He would be considered a super genius by his intellect alone. That's the one thing he inherited from his father. His father was quite intelligent as a as a so-called mad scientist. As he spent the whole day stalking out each entrance to the abandoned subway tunnel by studying the blueprints, he found out there's three different entry points on. Sorry, give me a second here, guys. Yeah, he found out there's three different entry points. On top of that, he gauged the traffic between the three entries. Sorry, through the three entrants to the subway tunnel to get a vague idea of how many numbers they have or how many people are involved. And from the major fact that he has vampire abilities because he has a vampire quirk, he could sense and hear all their heartbeats. There's quite a bit of numbers of them. He found out there should be at least 30 to 40 people in the tunnels with his superior hearing and sight. He was off by 10, about 10%. The use of his superior hearing from the heartbeats that he hears in the tunnels. This is not good. There's at least 50 people in the tunnels. This is clearly not a small operation. What I observe of their what I observe their way of to organize for sorry. What I observe, they're way too organized for a small group. This is going to be a pain in the ass. He decided to call it off for tonight. There's way too many vampire hunters involved. He needs to modify his battle strategy. Clearly, if he hit them tonight, there's a good possibility he would get overwhelmed and killed. He sorry. He might be more powerful than them, but clearly they have the numbers. It's a suicide. It's suicide without a valuable strategy. Izuku decided to monitor these vampire hunters for the next 5 weeks, monitoring them very closely until one night, as he witnessed a fight broke out between these vampire hunters and a pack of werewolves that would occasionally venture into the city. He expects that their pack house might be outside the city limits, but he's not totally sure. He's never actually came across any werewolves before. The werewolves were about to be killed. Izuku saw a opportunity to even the playing field. If he could gain the trust of these werewolves and their pack, he can finally take them out alone. It would be almost impossible, but with assistance with werewolves in the mix, it would give him a better chance of success. When the hunters were about to slay the werewolf, Izuku appeared out of nowhere, catching the arrows that they shot at the werewolves from their crossbows. What do we have here? Hunters going after werewolves. I guess you guys are branching out. A vampire. As they as the vampire hunters toss a holy water grenade at Izuku's feet, as the holy water sprayed everywhere, drenching Izuku in the water, they were expecting a loud scream from the vampire. All they got was laughter from Izuku. Sorry boys, but holy water doesn't do a thing to me. I guess you did try to attack me, so I guess I should retaliate. Nice knowing you, boys. As the werewolf watching in shock, as the young man stretched out his his arm towards the hunters, as black fire erupts from his fingertips, enveloping the vampire hunters, leaving nothing but charred skeletons on the ground. As all the werewolves were about to get ready for another fight, they don't know what his they were unsure what his intentions are towards them, so they're on edge. Don't worry, werewolves. I have no intention of attacking you. In fact, I wish to have a audience with your alpha for a chance of a temporary alliance. As he walks towards the werewolves with a smile on his face, and takes out a piece of paper and hands it over to the werewolf, and it's his address. This is where I've been staying recently. Come find me when your alpha agreed upon this little alliance. What if our alpha declines your offer? That would be that would be a sorry, give me a second, guys. That would be a pity, but nevertheless, no further action will be taken from me. I have no desire to harm you in any way. The last thing I need is a alpha. last I need is your pack on me. I just figured we had a common enemy. I might hate to admit it, but their numbers are way too big for me to attack them head on. Until we meet again, boys. Have a good night. What's your name, vampire? Izuku enters thoughts. They still haven't figured out that I am not actually a vampire. These must be young mutts. A seasoned werewolf will be able to tell that I am human. As he breaks out from inner thoughts, name's Izuku Midoriya. I'll be looking forward to your response. Goodbye for now, until we meet again. A safe trip back to your pack, gentlemen. As he disappears from their sight, as the werewolf takes a piece of paper and put it in his pocket, as they all turn around to go the opposite way to go back to their territory, a few days has passed. There was no sign of the werewolves trying to make contact with him. He was about to try and figure out another plan until he heard a knock on the door. When Izuku opened the door, he saw two drop-dead gorgeous blonde women. It seems like they're, sorry, seems like they're, I'm trying to pronounce this right. It seems to be, it seems to be that they're twin sisters. Sorry, I had a hard time saying that for some reason. Are you Izuku Midoriya? That's me. Please come in. After the two twins look at each other, then look back at Izuku. They both nod as they walk into Izuku's house. Would you girls like some tea? We would love some tea. Do you have green tea by any chance? I believe so. Why don't you girls take a seat in the living room and I'll be right back. A few minutes later, Izuku comes out with 3 teacups filled with green tea. As he sat down the opposite side of the two twins, the two twins began drinking their tea that Izuku offered. So I take it your alpha, sorry. I take it he or she, or sorry, let me say this again. So I take it your alpha, he or she has made her decision? She has. We got to admit, we weren't expecting the fact that you are human. The other members of our pack mistaking you for a vampire. I can understand why. That they thought I was a vampire. I figured if you should, sorry, give me a second. I figured eventually one of your pack members would be able to figure it out from my scent alone. Please excuse me while we're getting off topic here, girls. It is quite all right. We're a lot more comfortable now knowing that you're not a vampire. Vampire and werewolves don't have the best history. Regardless, our personal opinion on vampires, the Alpha has agreed to meet you. We're here to bring you to her. We already informed our Alpha of the situation. Because of the mind link between the Alpha and the Pack, she was already informed of Izuku's origins or the fact that he's not a vampire, but a human. Very well. Shall we, ladies? As they both got up and head out of the manor, as they directed Izuku into the vehicle as they drove off. As they finally arrive at the pack house, 20 minutes later, basically, they arrive at the pack house. As the twins lead Izuku through the pack house, the twins open the Alpha's office door as they direct him to go inside. As they wait outside of the door, as they close the door behind him, as Izuku sees a woman around in her 20s or 30s with long brunette hair. Ah, you must be Izuku. Please, sit down. I am the Alpha of the Silver Moon Pack, Alice. It's very nice to meet you, Izuku. Would you like something to drink while we have our discussion? Despite, sorry, despite Izuku only drinking blood to nourish him, he did take a liking to tea. He likes the flavor of tea, beef. He quite enjoys it. Tea would be lovely. You're in luck. I made some prior to our meeting. I got to admit, you exactly you look exactly like a vampire. But I could tell you're a human just by your scent alone. I can see why some of my younger pack members, my younger members of my family, mistaking you for a vampire. I take it you have a vampire quirk? Yes, I do, Miss Alice. As much as I'd like this small talk, let's get down to business. I was told you want to form some sort of alliance with me and my pack. Yes, I do. I'm not going to lie to you. I am only seeking this alliance out because I can't take care of I can't take care of it myself. I'm under strict orders by the Vampire Council that these rogue vampire hunters that are in the Vampire Court District needs to be silenced. May I ask why would a human work with vampires even though you have a vampire quirk? Do you understand your concern? And for your question, my mother's is on the council itself. Wait, your last name is Midoriya, was it? The Midorius? Yes, you are correct. By any chance, are you related to Inka Midoriya and Hisashi Midoriya? Yes, I am their son. As her cold expression turned to a soft expression, I've actually met your mom a few times, a lovely woman. So what type of alliance are you suggesting? That we join forces to root out these rogue hunters out of the city. I don't know how many bases they have. I know one of their locations in the abandoned subway tunnel. I've been keeping an eye on it for a few weeks now. They have about 50 or so in the tunnels. I might be resourceful. Eve, I might be resourceful. That's too much manpower even for me to handle. I've sent my scouts out to those tunnels before. I've lost many of my scouts to those vampire hunters. They normally don't bother with my kind, but this lot seems to kill anything that isn't human. I wasn't sure what was the best approach. There's no way we can negotiate peace between them and my pack. They seem to be pretty trigger happy. Very well, I'll accept your offer. But I do have conditions. Is that acceptable? I see no problem with that. Yeah, sorry guys. Things keep popping up. I want all the information you have on them. Until we deal with this common enemy we have, I want you to stay as our guest. Is this going to be a problem? I don't see any problem with that. Good. I'll have my pack show you to the guest room. Then we'll talk more in depth tomorrow. If we're going to work together, I would like to get to know you a little bit better. But I'm sure this. But are you sure? I highly doubt the Vampire Council will like you working with werewolves. You don't need to worry about that. The Council gave me full authority to do what I sorry. gave me full authority to do what I need to do to make sure the job is done. I have full authority on this mission. Very well. After all, it would be unfortunate if they targeted you. It wouldn't take them much information to find out where you're staying. It's best for you to stay in my territory. I don't want you to end up being dead before we could even start our little alliance. I suppose I see your point. The blonde twins were waiting outside of the office as they showed Izuku to the guest room. While Izuku was resting in the guest room, the werewolf pack was having a pack meeting. Alpha, are you sure this is wise? How do we even know if we could trust this guy? The simple fact that we have the same target. As you know, these vampire hunters have been causing us quite a bit of trouble. They've killed many of our brothers and sisters. Trusting him is no longer a luxury we have. But I met the boy's parents. There's one thing I know for sure. The Midoriyas have a code of honor. He won't betray us. And if he's anything like his mother, he would be a very powerful ally to have and a very dangerous enemy. I, tr- I trust him enough that our calm and interests aligned. Afterwards, I'm not so sure. I might have a casual relationship with his mother, but we're nowhere friends. Understood, Alpha. We'll follow your lead. You're all free to continue your daily activities. Just don't leave our territory. The city is forbidden until we deal with the vampire hunters. Understood, Alpha. You might excuse me. I'm going to talk to our guest. Alice is walking towards the guest room. She can hear him talking to someone. She assumes that he's talking on the phone with someone. Hey, Mom, it's me. How's the mission going? There were some complications. They were a lot more organized than we originally thought. I found I found them hiding in a abandoned subway tunnel. I know that tone. What's on your mind, son? My instinct is telling me that this is not their main base, but I won't know until I investigate the tunnels. They seem to be way too organized, and their equipment I've seen them carry is a lot more advanced than the ones that attacked us at the house. The ones at the subway tunnel are carrying heavy, heavy graded weaponry. I wish I could send you some reinforcements, but my hands are tied at the moment. I appreciate it, Mom. I made a deal with a local werewolf pack. What pack? I believe it's the Silver Moon pack. Thank God. I take it you're familiar with this pack? Their alpha said their alpha mentioned that you two have met each other before. For a werewolf, she's a good woman. If you ever encounter the Blood Moons pack, stay clear of them. They're very hostile towards humans and vampires alike. But do you think I can trust her? The last thing I need is someone stabbing me in the back. You don't need to worry. They're a very understanding pack. Just don't let your guard down. They're werewolves after all. But I highly doubt she'll betray you. I need to go, sweetheart. Contact me once you've successfully taken care of the hunters in the abandoned subway tunnel. Take care of yourself and be safe, love. Sorry, be safe. Love you, son. Love you too, Mom. Oh, and tell Alice I said hello. Will do, Mom. As he hangs up the phone, is there something you need, Alice? As she opens the door, sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you. Your hearing is as good as any vampire I've came across. No, you're not interrupting. I have all the buildings. Sorry, I have all the abilities of a vampire: strength, speed, and senses, and healing. Unfortunately, I have their bad feeding habits. What do you mean? I will tell you. I can't eat human food. I mean, I can eat human food. I just won't get any nutrients from it. I'm on what you call a blood diet. Really? I've never came across a human with a vampire quirk that needs to drink blood to survive. I most likely got that from my mom. She's the same. Speaking of mom, she says hi, by the way. Next time you speak to her, tell her I said hello. Will do. I highly doubt you came here to talk about my mom. No, I wanted to get to know you a little better, considering we're going to be working with each other. Well, there's not much to me, really. I was confined to the manor my whole life. What do you mean? I always had a hard time controlling my bloodlust. I would go into a blood frenzy occasionally. You don't need to worry. I have it all under control now. A vampire from Russia came and taught me how to handle it. As she got from the wall, as she sat next onto the bed right next to Izuku. That must have been really lonely for you. As she has a concerned look on her face. Not going to deny it would be a tad bit lonely from time to time. My mom would frequently visit. Dad visit less. After all, I did try to kill him. You try to kill your own father? Not by choice. I was in a blood rage. The only. Sorry. I was in a blood rage. The one time that he came in during my little episode. The only one that. Sorry. The only one I wouldn't outright attack was my own mother. My mother spent my whole life trying to keep me away from. Okay, yeah, okay, let's make it sure. My mother spent her whole life trying to keep me away from vampire business. Vampire Council couldn't. Vampire Council could no longer ignore me. After all, the hunters did attack my mother. Wait, you're telling me these vampire hunters are able to get into the vampire district and break into the Midoriya Manor? My mom was quite impressed by their resourcefulness. Still don't know how they did it. They might have some sort of backing. That's just a theory. I have no solid I have no solid proof to back it up yet. Let me guess. I take it the vampire council didn't really give you a choice in the matter? No, I'm sorry. No, not really. Is there anything else you could tell me about these hunters? They're well equipped. I've seen a couple of them carrying assault rifles. Let me take a wild guess. They're carrying silver bullets? Most likely. Silver does have some effect on vampires, not as strong effect as your kind, but it could severely hurt us or hurt them if they were shot a bunch of lead. That's just peachy. As the Alpha sigh, she hates silver. Before I contact you and your pack, I memorized the layout of the tunnel. How did you manage that? I hacked into the City Hall mainframe. Giving her a shrug. I shouldn't be surprised. Your old man was quite a smart guy. He's more of a, yeah, he sure is. He's more of a mad scientist than anything else. Can you give me a copy of the layout? That's going to be a problem. It's just going to take me a whole night to do. That's fine. We're gonna need it. It's getting pretty late. I'm gonna go head up back to my room. We'll talk more tomorrow and strategize. Very well. Good night, Miss Alice. Just call me Alice, dear. One of the twins will be outside just in case you need anything. Good night, Izuku. She walked out of the room to go back to her room to sleep for the night. As it's been a month. Izuku spent with the Alpha in her pack, planning an assault on the hunters. With the help of the werewolves, they can attack the hunters at all three entrances of the subway tunnel all at once. The Alpha decided the attack will progress in 3 days' time. Sorry, I think in 3 days' time, basically. Let me give me a second. The month he spent at the pack house, he got along pretty well with the werewolves, surprisingly. The first few weeks was rough. They didn't really trust him at first. Each day they opened up to him and vice versa. When it came to Izuku, he was on guard at first. After all, he heard stories from his mother about werewolves. Surprisingly, the Silver Moon Pack is pretty laid back. Back in the office. Oh, I misread that. Back, sorry, laid back, and the Alpha was quite kind to him. The Alpha kind of treated him like a younger brother. After all, he could tell that she had some sort of history with his mother, even though she said she only met his mother a couple times. He knew that was a lie. He had no reason to pry onto it any further. There you are, Yuzuku. Isn't it a little cold out here on the balcony for you? The cold doesn't affect me. It's the perk of having it's one of the perks I get from having a vampire quirk. Come on, you spent enough time alone. Join me and the rest of the pack. We're having our annual dinner. Alice grabbed onto Izuku's hand and dragged him down to the dining table. Damn, you're quite strong. Funny. I'm the alpha for a reason, Izuku. Come on, the rest of the family is waiting for you to join us. You haven't been here long. You might not be part of my pack. The pack and myself has accepted you as family no matter what happens with the hunters. You have a place here. I see you as a little brother that needs to be looked out for. Izuku spent Izuku spent the rest of his days before the attack with the pack in their alpha. Despite being on the mission, he did quite enjoy his time with the pack and their werewolves. They're pretty decent people. As we time skip to the night of the attack, as Izuku's standing outside one of the walls listening to the alpha, well, leaning against the wall, listen to Alpha motivate her pack. Izuku left with the pack and the Alpha to begin their operation at night. As night finally hit, they decided to hit the hunters under the full moon when their werewolf powers are heightened or at their peak. According to the plan, their werewolves will go through two of the entryways, leaving Izuku to deal with the other one alone. The alpha of the pack argued she wanted to send some of her pack to back up Izuku, but Izuku told her it was unnecessary, so she relented. She knew she wasn't going to change his mind. She might not like it, but from the aura he emanates, she knew he wasn't weak. She knows he could take care of himself. When Izuku approached the tunnel, he noticed three huge trucks. Izuku suspected that it's most likely supplies and probably ammo. He decided instead of going in quiet, he would go in loud, as he decided to make a grand entrance. As he's walking towards the entryway to the tunnel, as he's as he created several black fire orbs that circled around him when he got to the correct distance. As he swung his fist at one of the orbs, as it goes flying directly towards one of the truck, as he kicks another one, as the other orb hits the truck. As there's a as the truck, oh sorry, as the truck explode on impact, as a large group of hunters come running out of the tunnel, immediately they open fire at Izuku, firing some sort of automated weaponry. Izuku activated Blackout and dodged each bullet with incredible speed as he stands in front of the hunters as he blanketed them in black fire, killing all of them instantly, leaving only charged skeletons scattered in front of the entryway of the tunnel. When he stepped onto the skeletons, they would scatter into ash with each step. Before fully entering the tunnel, he sent the remaining black fire orbs into the tunnel. He heard a few screams, then a loud explosion, then dead silence. As he explored the tunnel, he sees charged skeletons scattered all around, oddly quiet. It was oddly quiet. A few minutes later, he could hear howls. It seems like the rest of the werewolves are staging their attack. Because of the werewolf attacking on the two other entryways of the tunnel, they sent most of their people trying to repel the werewolf attack. Izuku would come across a few hunters that wasn't part of the main force. He found he found himself at some sort of subway station. It seems like the hunters are in full retreat. They seem to be heading towards a big metal blast door. Clearly that wasn't originally there. It seems like a recent addition to the deserted subway station. There you are, Izuku. It seems the hunters hightailed it pretty fast through that door, Alice. Whatever you guys did, you had them running pretty damn fast. And I could smell the fear from them. Me and my pack might have overdid it a little bit. Are you injured? Fine. I swear, Alice, you're more of a worrywart than my own mother. You know my thoughts of you going alone. You can't blame me, I was worried. You see, I'm fine, so what's the plan? This wasn't a part of our strategy. Don't think we can... Sorry, give me a second here, guys. The only thing we could do is open it up and see what happens. Alright, everyone. Bunker down here and make sure no one enters while me and Izuku check it out. No backtalk. This is a order from your alpha. All of our pack nods. They might not like it, but they're somewhat at ease knowing Izuku's with her. They come to like the boy quite a bit. This is where we're gonna stop at. Yeah, we're this is a good point to leave it off. Ugh, can't talk apparently tonight. Yeah, so I hope you guys have a good night and day. Judge by time zones, and I'll catch you in the next video.